Hey, welcome back to the Big Rant Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit that subscribe button down below and let's get right to it. Now, over the weekend was the White House Correspondents Dinner, of course. And the right lost their goddamn minds, folks. They literally lost their flipping minds. All because one comedian with a bunch of lame jokes said some kind of harsh jokes about Sarah Huckabee Sanders. The thing is about the Correspondents' Dinner, the comedians are there to roast the people there. That's their job. That is what they are hired to do. They joke about the president. They joke about the people that are on the panel up there with them. That's what they do. That's the whole point. And then at the end of it, the president is supposed to get up and give kind of a rebuttal to the whole thing. It's supposed to be a fun, carefree evening where people tell jokes. And that's that. But no. The right has lost their mind. From Roseanne Barr all the way to Donald damn Trump have lost their freaking minds over it. Donald Trump called it filthy. Called Michelle Wolf's stand-up act filthy. Referred to the dinner as an embarrassment. But the dinner went off the way they always do. As long as I have watched them. This is actually the first one I have missed. So I had to watch Michelle Wolf's jokes afterwards. And so, yeah, I sat there and watched her jokes. Listened to them. I thought they were lame. I didn't find them funny in the least. But they're just jokes. This is just a comedian telling jokes. Some people found them funny. Some people didn't. You don't have to be a damn snowflake about it. I mean, really, people, what's the big deal? The White House Correspondents' Dinner and someone told a joke about the president or his press secretary. It doesn't make any sense. For 8 years, I watched Barack Obama be roasted time and again at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And time and again, I saw him give up and give a great speech full of jokes, and he never once insulted the people that did it. Why? Because that's what the night is for. It's supposed to be lighthearted and entertaining for the people watching. Have people on the right never heard of a roast? Have they never watched Comedy Central? When they've had roasts of different comedians and different people. They're usually pretty harsh. That's what a roast is. I mean, isn't that where the term being roasted comes from? You know, somebody saying something harsh about you? I mean, dear God. People, wake up. You know, I find it hilarious, though, that people on the far right, and just on the right in general, call all us liberals snowflakes, pansies, that we can't take a joke. Yet, they refuse to take a damn joke. I listened to joke after joke after joke about Barack Obama. I even saw a meme where they called him the Antichrist, for crying out loud. Not the Antichrist, the Antichrist. And so, people, calm down. You don't have to lose your shit because somebody told a joke you don't like. Just say, nah, wasn't funny. Move on. I watch a lot of people telling jokes, and I don't find a lot of their jokes funny sometimes. And all I do is just say, oh, that wasn't really funny. They can't all be Ricky Gervais. They can't all be a George Carlin. They can't all be a super funny comedian, like even a Roseanne Barr. I didn't find Michelle Wolf all that funny. I didn't find her delivery all that entertaining. You know. But she was hired to do a roast of the people on that panel. Sarah Huckabee Sanders was one of those people on that panel. She at least had the nerve and the guts to show up. So Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I give you some credit on that. You showed up and you knew jokes were coming. You knew it before you ever signed up to be there. You knew it was coming and you went anyway. Unlike your boss, who is too much of a chicken to show up to a dinner like the White House Correspondents Dinner. Why? Because a joke was made about him in one of the past White House Correspondents Dinners. This president was one of the most touchy, easily upsettable people I have ever seen in my life. He is a child. But, you know, at the end of the day, he is who he is. If he's a chicken shit, scared, gets upset because somebody says something mean about him, then I guess there's nothing we can do about that. But I can tell you one thing. I take a lot harder stuff than that from people. You know, some of the friends I've had, you know, we joke with each other even harsher than anything that I heard Michelle Wolf say about Sarah Huckabee Sanders, or any joke that I've found about Donald Trump. Now, I want to know, though, why the Correspondents Association was apologizing for her comments and her jokes. That makes no damn sense. You should not have to apologize. I am so sick of people having to apologize every time they say something that offends somebody. This is America. You have the right to say pretty much anything you want, as long as you're not inciting violence or screaming fire in a movie theater. Things like that. But this is America. You're free to say what you want. And if you're hired to do some jokes for a roast, then by God, you're supposed to do a roast. That's what you're hired for. It's pathetic. People in America have gotten so overly offended by every damn thing that's said. We ain't worried a damn bit about what happens in this world. We ain't worried that, you know, that 4 people are gunned down inside a Waffle House. We don't care that 2 black men were arrested in a coffee shop for simply waiting for a friend, like half the other white people in the building. But we're concerned about the words that come out of a comedian's mouth. I heard comedians tell all sorts of terrible jokes about Barack Obama. And I've heard even worse jokes about George W. Bush. Were some of them offensive? Yes. Did I go on social media and blast the people for it? Did I go and call them filthy, disgusting people? No. I just said, oh, that wasn't funny. Moving on. And a lot of the jokes I even laughed at. I voted for Barack Obama twice. And I still found most of the jokes told about the presidency, about his presidency, is funny. I found them hilarious. I may have found some not so funny. You know, there's certain things, you know, when you go, you know, there's certain kind of jokes I don't find funny. Other people find those kind of jokes funny. You know? But nowhere in our Constitution does it state you have a right to not be offended. Grow up, people. Quit being such pansies. You look pathetic. I mean, Republicans used to be the people complaining about the snowflakes on the left. And it turns out Republicans are no more, or no less, snowflakes. They are pansy asses. They cannot take one shred of anything that says anything negative about them or the person they voted for, even if it's true. So a lot of what Michelle Wolf had to say was accurate. Much like her joke about the lies. How Sarah Huckabee Sanders, burns the lies and creates the her her eyeshadow or whatever the hell it was. Was it funny? No, I didn't find it funny. Was it accurate? Yes, it was accurate. And so, y'all gotta grow up. Look at the stuff actually happening. If you want to be offended by something, be offended at what's actually happening. People being killed every day by gun violence. Every single day in this country. People in this country starving. The fact that rent on 2.5 million people in the HUD program is possibly about to go up because of the new Ben Carson proposal. The fact that they're trying to make more cuts to food stamps. So those same people are having their rent go up, their food stamps go down, and they're expected to survive. Worry about the people dying of opioid addiction every single day. Be offended by that. Our environment is being destroyed every single day by more and more pollutants added to our environment. Especially with recently removed EPA regulations that now allow some companies to put chemicals in the water. The very water that we drink. So be offended by that. How about we be offended by the fact that our educational system in this country lags far behind the rest of the industrialized world? Why doesn't that offend you? The pay for our teachers is so low they can't survive. They have to work 2, 3, 4 jobs to survive. Yet, you are not offended by that. The elderly woman next door can't afford her meds, and you ain't offended by that. Yet, you're offended by words. Stupid, insignificant words. There are people out there in this country that cannot get the medical care they need because they can't afford it and they don't qualify for Medicaid or Medicare. Yet, none of you are offended by that. But you were offended by words. It is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe how people are in this country. It really doesn't make any damn sense to me. They were words. They were jokes. And you're more offended by words and jokes than you are about what's actually going on in this world. You've got an asshole halfway around the world in Syria gassing his own damn people. You ain't offended by that. Pathetic. Pathetic. Americans have become so pathetic, it's unreal. You're so weak-minded, some of you, that you're so upset. You get so upset by the littlest thing. Somebody said something mean to you. Somebody said something mean about who you voted for. Somebody said something mean about a celebrity. They're just words. It's terrible. You don't worry. You worry about things like jokes at a roast, but you don't worry about the kid being bullied at school. Or the girl from the woman I saw, a Twitch streamer who enjoys killing zombies, who was brought to tears because they were called fat and they were bullied over their body shape. And you don't care about that. But you care about jokes made at a roast where people are expected to be hit with harsh comments. You've got children in this country killing themselves over being bullied. And you're worried about the jokes told by a comedian at a roast. This has been The Big Rant Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck. Please hit the subscribe button. I'll see you down the road.